As the rise in fentanyl and opioid usage increases nationwide, so do the possibility of overdoses. But one drug that is available to the public can help reverse the effects of an opioid overdose and save lives. I spoke with one first responder to learn more and how to use it.
We don't use it every day, but we have used it with alarmingly increasing amounts over the last couple of years.
With the rise in opioid usage also comes a rise in overdoses, which is what Sioux City Fire Rescue's EMS team is seeing.
I probably started working in this area in 2012, and in 2012 compared to now, I bet you we use it far more than we ever did.
It is Narcan, a drug that can reverse the effects of an opioid overdose and save lives. Amanda Monroe Rubendahl is a clinical educator at Mercy One Siouxland.
So the way that opioids work is that they attach to parts of our brain, and that's how they deliver pain relief. But if we have too much of them in our system, then that's how they also slow down our respiratory drive. And what Narcan does is it goes in and it kind of kicks those opioids off of those receptors and takes their place.
Some who overdose on an opioid like fentanyl don't know the strength of the drug they are taking is lethal.
So we're seeing they're called M30s, the fake Percocets. If this is morphine, and morphine is 1.5 times stronger than Percocet, if this is a lethal dose of morphine, that's a lethal dose of fentanyl. And it does not take much.
Regaler puts it into perspective.
Imagine an M&M is a fatal dose, but then they put it in a cookie, a big cookie. See an M&M cookie, it absorbs it, you're okay. But the stuff they're putting in the M30, it's pure fentanyl.
While Sioux City isn't seeing the levels of overdoses as many major cities, Regaler and Sioux City Police say the numbers are climbing.
But the number of overdoses that we have seen in probably the last two years here in Sioux City, it's frightening. Yeah. Absolutely frightening. Like, wow, I never thought we'd be this bad.
In 2022 alone, we had 19 confirmed fentanyl overdoses. 3 of those resulted in death. With those, in 2022, we also administered 22 doses of Narcan.
In 2022, Sioux City Police used Narcan 22 times, Sioux City Fire Rescue and EMS 76 times. Now, it is important to note that some people may require several doses of Narcan to reverse the effects of an opioid overdose. But what does an overdose look like? Well, there are a few things to look for. Their breathing may be shallow, or they may not be breathing at all. Their pulse is slow and erratic. They may be unconscious. And if you look at their eyes, their pupils will look very small, like pinpoints. These are all signs of a potential overdose, and a sign you should call 911 and use Narcan if you have it. Regaler walked me through what to do if you find someone possibly suffering from an overdose.
Now he's breathing very, very slowly, and the next thing you notice that he's probably going to be as blue as his pants, which means he is not breathing effectively. So we would maybe notice some paraphernalia laying around. We notice the blue pills that had been crushed up. Maybe they've been shooting it, injecting it, snorting it. We're not really sure, but we notice that we think this is a Narcan situation. Plug the other nostril, go ahead and push. Okay, it's in. And now it's important that we ventilate him every 6 seconds, because now we're going to push it in. And we're going to continue to do this until his arms start to move, respirations start to increase.
Regaler and Yaniv credit our local dispatchers for ensuring first responders are prepared when responding to a possible overdose. All police officers, fire trucks, and ambulances are equipped with Narcan, so whoever is first on scene can deploy a dose immediately.
With the aggressiveness, with the detection from our dispatchers, the aggressiveness of PD, of our guys jumping in, we've saved a lot of lives.
And sometimes that first life-saving dose comes from a family member or friend. Now, you don't need a prescription to get Narcan from a pharmacy, and you typically receive 2 nasal spray doses in a box. It's important to remember that if you need to use Narcan, to also call 911 and get that person to an emergency medical provider quickly.